couple of my friends, and we are physical therapy students here at Wheeling University. So this particular video is being recorded for 3rd and 4th grade students. In terms of equipment for this video, the only equipment that you might need would be a jump rope. But if you don't happen to have one, or if you are unable to find one, that is more than okay. You will be able to complete these activities without one. So for today's video, we are going to practice a variety of jumping skills. As far as the learning objectives, we will be covering jumping continuously using a variety of jumping skills, as well as performing rhythmic sequences while using equipment. So in this video, we are going to try to jump to a rhythm while using different jumping sequences. So before we get started, we ask that you guys go ahead and clear your surroundings so that there's nothing in your way that you could trip on or break. Also with that, we ask that you are in comfortable clothes so that you are able to move comfortably and freely, and that you are in closed-toed shoes that can be tied. So before we get started with our activities, we are going to run you guys through a warm-up. But before we do that, I think it's important that we talk to you guys about the importance of a warm-up. So the reason we do a warm-up is to get your muscles and the rest of your body warm so that you are ready to go and that you also are able to avoid injury. If your body is cold, you will not be able to perform these tasks efficiently. So with that being said, I am going to turn it over to my friend Danny, and she's going to talk you guys through our warm-up.
Hi guys, I'm Danny. I'm just going to lead you through a quick warm-up. We're going to do different jumping skills in order to get ready for our next activities. So first you want to start by trying to jump with 2 feet and landing on 1. So let's do that a few times. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you can do it with a jump rope. So let's try that. Try jumping with 2 feet and landing on 1. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Great job. Now let's try doing it backwards. You're going to jump on 1 foot and land on 2. Ready? Try that. Jump on 1 foot and land on 2. Good. Let's do that 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Do you want to try it with the jump rope? Go ahead. Great job. So now let's try jumping as high up as you can. Ready? Jump. 1, 2, and 3. That was great. Now we're going to jump as far forward as we can. Ready? Go. Now let's try to go as far back as you can. Ready? Go. Good. Now jump as far right as far right as you can. Go. And as far to the left as you can. Great. So we're going to try that again. So remember how we started? You're going to jump with 2 feet and land on 1. Let's do that 3 times. Go ahead. Great. Now let's jump with 1 foot and land on 2. Ready? Go. Now let's jump as high up as we can 3 times. Ready? Go. Now jump as far forward as you can. As far back as you can. As far to the right as you can. And now as far left as you can. Great job. Now Alex is going to teach us our first activity.
Good job, guys.
Do you need us to redo any of that?
You guys ready? All right. Now that we have been warmed up safely, we can begin our first activity. For our first activity, we're going to be jumping into various shapes. So the shapes are going to be triangle, square, and a star. So let's get an example of how we're going to do the first one. Let's start with a triangle. So let's start and show an example of how we're going to jump in a triangle. Good. Now let's do this activity 3 times in the shape of a triangle. Good. Now take about a little break, and then we're going to be doing a jump in the shape of a square. For the shape of a square, we're going to be jumping 4 different times, and it's going to be shown as a box shape. Now let's begin how we would jump in the shape of a square. Good. Now we're going to do this actually 3 times. Good. Now, for the last one, we're going to be jumping in the shape of a star. Now, the shape of a star can be a little complex, so just try to follow along. We're going to do one little example of how we would like you to jump. Now, since this one's a little complex, we're just going to do this 2 times. Good. Now that we're done with this, I'm going to switch it over to Jules, and she's going to perform the last activity with you guys.
Awesome job, guys. That was harder than I thought. Are you guys ready to move on to the next activity? Now we're going to use some cards to tell us what type of jumping sequence we can do. We'll show you how to do them. First, let me pick out 3 cards. Our first card says heel clicks on both sides. Danny, can you show us what heel clicks on both sides look like? Awesome job. Our next card says skipping. Mike, can you show us what skipping looks like? Awesome. And finally, our last card says 5 jumping jacks. Danny, can you show us what 5 jumping jacks look like? Great job. Now we're going to do those all together. Ready, set, go. Awesome job, guys. Now I'm going to pick another 3 cards. Our first card says jumping on your left foot 3 times. Mike, can you show us what that looks like? Awesome. Our next card is crisscross. Danny, can you show us what that looks like? Great job. And finally, our last card is 1 high knee jump. Can Danny and Mike show us what that looked like? Great job, guys. Now we're going to put all those 3 together. Ready, set, and go. Great job. Now we're going to have our last 3 pairs of cards. Our first card says kangaroo jumps. Danny, can you show us what kangaroo jumps look like? Awesome. Our next card says frog leaps. Mike, can you show us what frog leaps look like? Great. And our final card are skater jumps. Danny, can you show us what that looks like? Awesome. Now we're going to put those last 3 sequences together. Ready, set, go. Kangaroo jumps, frog leaps, and skater jumps. Great job, guys. Thanks for joining us. We had a blast and we hope you did too.